That was the only stipulation you had.
Yeah, no, we can go anywhere with this. Like Superman, let's have a general conversation about it. And my knowledge, because I'm not as knowledgeable of the older movies as you would probably be, because I wasn't there originally. Not just because I know you've watched the original Superman trilogy from the movies.
Right, I've understood.
Or was it 4 movies or 3 movies?
It was 4, but I understand that you more so out of Superman, you like the Smallville series more so than the character.
Yeah,
I get that. So yeah, we don't have to go anywhere that either one of us can go.
yeah. So we're this is an open Superman conversation. So let's have a conversation about Superman.
Not the movie, but
In general. Oh, I mean, we could talk about the movie, but if it turns into other conversations of Superman, it's fine. Fuck it. Clark Kent is full of Clark Kent multiverse is open up here.
I feel like I should have worn like a different.
Blue team blue. That's it.
I feel like they clash. Like
I no, my girl just spoils me. She got me this shirt right before the movie, so like I'm good.
Yeah, I should have worn a cape or something. I don't know.
His man just comes with like puts like the red sweater around his neck. Just like
I take my shirt off and tie it up.
Hey man, if you need outfit change, go ahead.
Nah, but just rock with it, you know.
Blue and blue. It is what it is.
It is what it is. So we saw the new Superman movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's called it's called Superman.
Yeah, I think it's just Superman, right?
Yeah, I hate that, by the way. Like,
I love
even the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie is called I Know What You Did Last Summer.
You know, I guess.
Call it something else.
So I guess if you want to did you want to be like Superman Rebirth or something like that, or Superman?
I think maybe if they called
New 52 Superman, or
if
something
they called it the Superman, like that would.
Just adding the would have made the difference for you.
Yeah, it would have like kind of added that little.
I don't. I could be wrong because like I feel like I wasn't as focused on the titling, but like, let us know. Was it the Superman or was it Superman? Because
it's just Superman.
Okay, so it's just. I mean, like I get it though because I feel like that's more definitive. So like.
They did that with Superman.
Maybe I'm a defender here, so I'm a.
It's a weird way to start this off.
But no, I feel. But I feel like the Superman. We didn't even introduce the Let's Keep It Chill podcast. But like I don't even know
what it is.
The Superman episode. Let's keep it. He's like we've been here.
Let's keep it chill. Let's
all right.
Let your mind off.
I'm okay with the Superman title being just Superman because I get it. It's the starting point of like the new DCEU. So I feel like when you look back at it, if you're like looking at a trilogy line side, it looks nice to just see Superman. He probably does like Batman and like whatever else he titles.
So anytime they start something new, you're fine with them reusing old.
Even like if it's like a Green Lantern, just Green Lantern instead of like the Green Lantern. Like
I think it has to come to some.
I mean, we know what it is, but you know, I guess it's gonna be harder to like keep notice of like the difference between like what, like if you're looking up the movie. Like 5 years from now, you're like, I want to watch Superman. No, not the '90s Superman. I want to watch the 2025. Like,
there's a lot of confusion.
So like,
typing that into streaming.
He like it just fucked up future streaming sales because like
it's kind of good for Superman.
Yeah, the original Superman movies were like, this is the wrong one. I think I got the wrong Superman movie.
Yeah.
Like all the old people end up watching the new one. I didn't know this is not what it was back in the day.
Right. Either way, you're getting Superman and
someone's mixing it across.
Yeah. But no, that's not a huge detail. I don't know. They could have just did something different.
But that is a fair point though. That is gonna fuck with a lot of people in terms of like just looking up the title for movies. So like,
yeah,
I don't mind it, but I also agree with your criticism.
I think Fast and Furious did it too. They called one Fast and Furious, or Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, I stopped paying attention. I gotta go out of my way right now to like finish watching that. I think like after like the 5th one, I fell off.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That's another conversation. Yeah, we don't gotta get into that.
Superman. We saw the movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Not seen it? Yeah.
You enjoyed it as well.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. I wouldn't say like I think what did I give Sinners 5 out of 5?
Yeah, I thought Sinners was 5 out of 5 too.
I would give Superman like 4.5, 4.75. I think there's like minor moments where I see like the CGI is like off. Like I think there was like I don't know if you remember one of the first fights. Spoilers. So just
spoilers.
Spoiler talk. But I think there was a moment where like he was fighting Metamorpho in the beginning. I think that's what it was called, and like he was getting like pushed back in the wind, and we just have a close up of Superman's face, and it just looked like unfinished CGI, and maybe it was just like the lighting or the sun was really bright in his face at that time, but it fell off. So there was like one or two moments that I might have like missed with the CGI, but ultimately I think the visuals were still pretty on point. Like I think that was like few and far in between because I think when it hit with the soundtrack, with like the moments like of action or just like the iconic moments that you even see moments in the trailer when he's busting out the glass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those moments were done really well, so I couldn't be mad, and I think that's what I would want out of that's what I would want out of a Superman movie. And I think that's what we kind of needed, personally.
Yeah, the CGI is like a much bigger issue. I think that action movies, especially now, anytime someone throws a punch, it's a CGI. It's a CGI moment. You know,
you don't really know what is really what's not at this point in time.
I think it's just all fake. I mean, I know it's Hollywood. We know it's fake, but like they're not even trying anymore. Like you're a filmmaker. You know those that shot they're doing in every movie where it's like a wide shot of the characters and everyone's just like a claymation CGI character. And
yeah, like if it's like a big army or something like that.
Yeah, big army, big wide shot, big scene, big setting.
Like the 300 CGI kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or like, there's movies I'm noticing now where there's like 40 seconds, 50 seconds going by where there's no one real on the screen, no actors. Yeah. It's just CGI characters fighting each other, and that's bad.
Well, yeah.
And I saw that a lot here, and I know it's Superman, but they could have did a little something, I don't know, to keep us more grounded to what a fight scene would feel like fighting Superman.
I could agree to that criticism just because like I'm all for like practical effects when usable. Yeah. Like I I'm not on a grand scale in filmmaking, and I don't know what like the budgeting is, or the I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, why they chose CGI over this much. Maybe that was just better for them to create their like the story that they were making was probably better told, or more conveniently told through CGI for them. I don't know. But like I don't disagree with that either. I think that like sometimes it's nice to see like practical effects built into I think like even was it the more recent Batman movie, like they did have some more action, but there was more practical effects in that, but that's also because Batman's a well more grounded character. Yeah. But I think anytime you watch like a movie where, and I'm not saying like all this things in his was not was practical pure, don't get me wrong, I know that I'm not stupid. I feel probably gonna like assume that, but I think that, like, when you see, like, you ever watch the CW series? Like, they didn't do great in the CGI, but when they did really good in was the action.
Is it about Smallville?
Like, not. Like, this is a little after Smallville. Like, I'm talking about the Arrowverse. Like, Arrowverse, I think Arrow was really well done, especially first 4 or 5 seasons. For me personally, I didn't really get too much further after that one, but, like, those were really, because the action was really well done, because it was like physical fighting, it was practical, it wasn't like CGI. These guys were actually doing the moves, they were actually choreographing the fights. And I think like in like I think like in the Flash, like you lose a little bit of like in the Flash the TV series, you lose a little bit of that for the action scenes. It looks a little more goofy because things are more CGI. Yeah. So I think like when you can do more practical effects, like just because you can feel and you as a person can relate to it more. Because like I can see that movement happening. I watched a Jackie Chan movie and I've seen Jackie Chan move that way. I can see a guy who's well trained fighting like this. Mark, that's cool to me. You've seen MMA. You've seen actual forms of sports fighting and actually gladiatorial like manner and happenings. But like you've not seen like a nigga with super speed going after another nigga with super speed, or Superman, a nigga with super strength swinging buildings and buses at another nigga with super strength. It's weird. And or fighting a kaiju, like we don't see that on a regular basis.
But I even feel like something like Man of Steel, who I know you said that this was better than Man of Steel.
I do think at least for a Superman movie, it was better than Man of Steel. Yes.
I think Man of Steel, for some reason, even though it wasn't that long ago, felt more grounded in realism. Like there was less CGI fights.
Well, I don't think there was less CGI fights. I think that it was so dark in lighting that it was harder to see the moments of CGI.
Okay. I mean, I would have to go back and watch the movie. I haven't seen it in years, but I can't argue with you on that.
No, I think there's like a lot of moments where like I would argue that like Man of Steel is just as much 100%, because I think there's a moment where like Clark in the beginning of the Man of Steel movie gets on fire, and like I think he throws a piece of clothing off, and you could very much tell like it was CGI fire. So like there are moments in that like. It was good, like it was really well done. I don't think Zack Snyder, like the complaints of that like universe was like the visuals were boring. Well, some people actually probably did think that because again the lighting, but like I think that Zack Snyder's universe was meant to be a more realistic take. If like Superman was in the real world, in a sense that like his character would be more jaded. His perspective, like I don't think that Superman was like the hopeful Superman that the comics portray. I think that's it. Or maybe an iteration of the comics, which are the one that we more know, like on like our more hopeful versions on TV and cartoons and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and this one was kind of like it went left. It was like very.
It hugged that. It really dove into that comic.
Might have been why they were so loose with the CGI. It's just like, hey, let's just zero down on this.
Like there was a scene where, like, I think you said you didn't necessarily love it, but there was like the giant monster in the background, and like he's having a cup of cocoa.
Yeah, well, that wasn't because of CGI. That actually was a beautifully shot scene, but.
You felt like it was too much. Like you felt like the scene dragged on for.
I felt like the movie, tonally, was a little off here and there, just a little bit. And
you're not the only person that complained about that.
I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh at that moment. It felt kind of like, what are we supposed to be doing here?
I get, because it was like a serious conversation between Lois and Clark, and that. So like, I can understand that. Like I think that, like, I get it, because like there are moments where you just want to take a serious moment serious.
Yeah.
And I can see where some people will say like this movie didn't necessarily let certain moments like that sit, and I can agree to that, because I think like ultimately it was trying to be a very lighthearted film. I think it wanted you to see the seriousness, like the serious moments, like the very clear, and it's gonna get a little political, and I don't really want to join it, but the very clear, like, you know, Gaza situation mirroring, you know, in that it was definitely some serious.
Being strong.
But you know, but like I feel like it also touched on it, and it did, like, if again, like the One Piece effect, where you have these, like, I know, I'm sorry, it's like the only thing I could compare it to, but like you don't think that there's these darker themes happening because it looks like a goofy ass cast of characters. None of the characters look like the same. Like the art style looks weird. It's like rubber hose animation, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, this nigga's, you know, political intrigue. You know, there's spies taking out political leaders, government's getting taken over, like all this stuff, slavery, like, and that wasn't really expected. I think that's what the Superman movie kind of did, and I think that can fuck with people. I think, like, for me as a person that kind of delves into that kind of a show like One Piece, and like that was comfortable ground for me. But I can also understand for you that's not where you sit.
I think that sometimes.
Sorry, I over-explained the fuck out of that.
It's alright. It's good.
This is what we're here for.
Yeah. Well, before I say this, I think that the guy that played Superman, he was probably like one of the more highlights of the movie. He was really.
He was like the best. Like, yeah.
I don't know if I liked him better than Henry Cavill, but this guy did a solid job.
I think Henry Cavill looks more like Superman. I think, was it Corn Sweat, or what is it? What is his full name? Can you Google, like, I'm
Google
the new Superman. I want to know.
Oh, his name?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. See, I don't want to butcher the name, especially in mid review. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I think he fit the character of who Superman, like his who he was in the series, in the movie. Like, as Superman, as Clark, he fit that a little bit better.
Well, let me stop you there, because though he did a really good job, because the movie didn't know what it wanted to be tonally, I feel like he didn't know what it wanted to be tonally, because
I don't think it didn't know what it wanted to be tonally. I think it knew exactly what it wanted to be tonally.
Just slight moments, because like he was.
I think the viewers are confused why it was that way tonally. I think that's the difference.
He was a little off because he was very corny, and like there were moments where he was just like, he said some shit to Crypto. He was just like, "Hey, dude, get off me!" Like it
like
was
the
like,
gosh,
yeah, like it
like
was
he didn't curse, like he didn't
like Superman. I feel like, to me, especially because my favorite depiction of Superman is the animated series, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, and the '90s series. That Superman's more stern, more stoic, and this one seemed like he was more insecure. You know, kind of a younger depiction, but like not necessarily age-wise, but just like maturity-wise.
I think that I think that was also because I think this is technically still a newer Superman. Like, he's still been doing it for 3 years. But I think when you get to that point in those series, Superman's been doing it for like a decade in those series.
But sometimes. You know, just to go back to Smallville, that actor that played Superman, I never felt like he
wasn't the corny type. No,
he wasn't corny. He wasn't goofy.
I think it was kind of like he was definitely the anti. He was an
alpha all the time. Like, even when he was going through something, I feel like he still was a strong person. Where this guy, you got to see who he was weak emotionally. You know, there's a lot of emotional stuff.
But there are iterations of Superman that are like that, and I think that was also the point. I think it was because like
but Superman really known for that.
Well, no, but like like they've made jokes about that with Captain America, like saying like language, but like I can understand if you're not comfortable with that, but I also think that's the point. I think that we're so used to seeing like guys be like the fact that you said alpha, Chad, like like we want guys to be like Chad or the stoic personality so much that like when we see a character that's like kind of corny, we're like that kind of turns us off. But like that's the point. That's the point, to make that comfortable. Like why is that kind of a personality who's like this Superman was supposed to be like undyingly compassionate. Like Henry Cavill's Superman was like, do I save these people? Let his dad die? This Superman wouldn't have let his dad die even if he asked him to. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference.
You know, when you said Corn Sweat earlier, I was like, there's no way his last name is Corn Sweat. And then I looked up his name and it says his name is David Corn Sweat.
Yeah, so I knew I got the last name. I was going to say,
yeah,
David Corn Sweat, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Imagine your last name being Corn Sweat. And then you play Superman and you're like, look, I told y'all I would make it.
Right? I feel like he definitely got bullied, but then he was tall. But he was taller than most of the niggas, so they said that shit behind his back. So
like, he might have started working out with Corn.
Yeah.
His name is Corn
I am not Corn Sweat. I am not Corn Sweat. My name is Corn Sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like he was like, hey, guess what? I'm Superman, bitch ass nigga. Because then I know girls are fawning over him, so he
has to really step up for the Corn Sweat name.
Yeah.
But yeah, nevertheless, he was pretty good in this film, and I thought he was dope. I also like Crypto. Crypto was I didn't think I would like him this much, but I think he was definitely a standout character in the movie, and I feel like without the movie, because I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was a good movie, solid movie, not the best Superman movie, but
he's a harder critic than me. I don't know, but I just enjoyed it. It was a good vibe for me.
I feel like I would have probably took more from like Demoted It if there was no Crypto. I think it was a really
Crypto was like the .1. He was like the 1. Like it would have been a 2 without Crypto.
Yeah, because
no, I'm not even mad at that.
They didn't even focus.
A good 1 point. A good 1 is from Crypto for me too.
And I feel like I was the one talking about Crypto more, but I like Crypto, and I feel like
I deal with 3 of them at home.
I feel like it wasn't even like he was the focus either. Like they were able to have him in the film and still have Superman go through what he needed to go through.
Yeah.
But he came in when he needed to. He was funny. He made us laugh, and he was a good dog, and there was action involved.
I mean, he wasn't a good dog. He was there. He was present.
He was a puppy.
He was better than most. You know.
His presence in the film was important to me, and I enjoyed him being.
I don't think it would have been the same movie without him.
No, he kept the color there, if that makes sense.
Have you seen the memes online that that Clark Kent is like freaking out, and like because we find out, and like, again spoiler, towards the end, that like it's Kara's dog, and then like he's like Buster, he's like, I don't fucking care. You need to give me that dog. She's not like me. She's not compassionate like me. like.
So I didn't want to get to that so soon, but Supergirl.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that seems so perfect.
Yeah.
Again, much like Crypto, they knew how to utilize her. Like we didn't need to have a cam. We didn't need to have.
She didn't come at the end of the help her save the day.
Exactly. This isn't some like we have enough characters.
This was Superman's movie. She's
just a cameo. That's all we needed. And the fact that she played kind of like a young 19, 20 something, kind of didn't have her life straight yet, drunk.
But that's kind of like that's her because like her character in the comics is like this person that just lost her planet. Like she feels that more than Clark, because Clark is just the guy that grew up on planet Earth, but never saw the country, but is missing a piece of his history. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like Clark is like, for those who want to relate, is like if you came from like your parents came from Jamaica, or your parents came from some other location, and then or and you're hearing about the culture, but you've never been there. But Clark got to still hear about it in a situation where he grew up comfortably in his current location. Kara had to like realize like she had to be like shit. My whole like the equivalent of like my whole country being dead. Like my whole family died. My whole planet died. I lost that culture. So the fact that she's a drunk, that she's dealing with shit right now.
Yeah, I thought it was very fun and it was played off perfectly. And it came at the end. It wasn't. quote unquote cash grabby. It wasn't trying to like sell me on anything. Like, oh, nostalgia. Nah, it was just like one and done, and I'm gone.
And she's like, and you could tell she's like a little younger than Clark, so that there's still that you know, she probably just like a just a 21-year-old kind of girl, just became an adult and is now dealing with like all the like she's processing it. The fact that like fucking Crypto ran over and started slamming her to the ground and just playful. I was like, this is why that dog's
like loving it. Like
this is why Crypto makes sense now. Like you're like the whole movie.
Right.
This wouldn't have been Clark's dog. like
they kept her kind of vague, and I feel like if they do a sequel, they should have her in just the same amount of time and role. Like I don't want to see anymore. Like just another really good scene. Like that. She doesn't have to be drunk. Just a really good fucking minute scene, and that's all I need. You know, if they're gonna do something with her character,
I think they're gonna give her own movie eventually.
Probably.
I feel like that would be a better, like if you like do like little cameos like that, and then you let her in, like that would probably be more fulfilling. Because like you want, it's a tease at the character.
Probably. I'm not a huge Supergirl fan, but you know.
But it definitely would hit a Mario. Like I think it would hit an audience. I think that character is interesting enough.
Yeah.
And like I think if they do it right, she could. She's also very like badass in certain ways. Like she can like, she don't have the same moral code Superman does.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a fan base for that. Well, you
there was a whole Supergirl series.
Right, exactly. She's popular.
Yeah.
You had brought up earlier the fact that we don't get to see Superman as Clark, and I wanted to touch upon that too because you didn't find that. I thought that was it didn't take away from the movie for me, but it was just kind of like as a Superman fan, which neither of us are really huge Superman fans. I would have been disappointed because that's a huge element of his character that I wanted to see more of. Or
yes and no. Yes and no.
They show him for one scene. He's Clark for one scene.
But I feel like Clark is more prevalent when, like, you see Clark more when Lois doesn't know who Superman is.
Right. So that was like kind of like no reason for that.
There's no reason. Yeah. Like at that point, he could just be himself most of the time.
I disagree because there's a whole world of people who he still has to fake it to.
But like they kind of explain that away with the glasses thing. Like they made the joke. They made it canonical in the movie that he has like hypno glasses kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of like a newer thing to me. Like I like the like.
I think there was like theories out in the internet. I don't know if it was ever like confirmed via comics, but like that's kind of it kind of makes more sense. It kind of makes more sense than like a guy wore glasses because if you took your glasses off, I would have been like, Kai, I don't know who this man in front of me is. Like I would be.
Well, I mean, they could have just. I like the way that they explained it in this movie. They was just like, it was kind of so obvious that they had to kind of reference it. You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's where we are. I think they should.
We're not a dumb audience.
Yeah, exactly. Do that. You know, kind of wink at it. That's all I need. You know?
Yeah. They didn't make a big thing. It was like It was a 2-second joke. It was actually a joke in the movie, and then they moved on from it.
I was fine with that. But it's funny because I was sitting there watching it, and there's a scene where you first see him as Clark. He's walking down the street, and this nigga's like fucking 7 feet tall. You're clearly a male model. You're clearly Superman.
It's like when people saw like Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker, like this kid wasn't bullied. He's a skater kid. He clearly got pussy. Like
that's a little different. I actually loved Andrew Garfield. As
no, I mean like that. But I know there were some people that felt that way.
I get the reference. Yeah. But I feel like the movie because how off that would have seemed in that world.
But I feel like that's Clark,
why they didn't do it.
But if you ever watch like the original Superman, like the Superman 1 movie, like it kind of felt that way too. Like there's this like this like objectively handsome dude with glasses that's kind of he's a little awkward, but then like he's taller than everybody.
Yeah, definitely. That was like kind of like the mystique of Christopher Reeve. He was very goofy in that role.
Like even in Smallville, like I know you said you didn't really watch the later seasons of Smallville, but even in Smallville, like there was a whole episode where Lois Lane had to convince Clark to like wear the glasses again. Because like people were starting to be like, you're too super, like you are too stoic as you are. You are too much of that guy in their eyes. So they're gonna be like, there's no like if you ever went public, they'll be like that's clearly him. So he had to put on the persona of Clark. He had to like there was a point where he was wearing the glasses and someone almost fell down a ditch. He caught him and then like he just put him on the hand and then like she had to like tell him that he had to act like he was struggling more because like he had to put on that persona.
Everything you just described just then is the reason why I didn't like Smallville. Because
it felt like ass backwards, right? Like why
are we seeing all this?
Because again, Lois. Generally, you put on the Clark Kent act when Lois doesn't know it, but this nigga was just stoic and handsome the whole time. So of course she was gonna fucking fall in love with the man. She was Superman. It was fucking Superman without the man. He just didn't have the persona yet. He was just him. He was just that nigga.
I also hate that he does everything Superman does before he even fucking moves.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with
Smallville.
Like, I think that's the problem with series like that and Gotham and shit like that.
It
Like,
just went on way too long.
There's no way. Like, I feel like if you're gonna do the previous series or you gotta like create a whole bunch of new superheroes for that. But the thing is, the audience isn't gonna be as involved or as interested because, like, I don't want to see Superman faces no name. I want to see him fight Darkseid. I want to see him fight Doomsday. I want to see him fight Lex. Those are the big characters that you see him fight, and that's who you know.
Yeah, I like the idea of him not meeting Lois until he gets the job at Metropolis and
he met her before that though. Like,
I don't like that.
He was so like he met like what like it was. She basically.
At what point did they meet?
So like Clark, I think had gotten, and like this is when like they kind of retconned.
Is this a newer? Yeah, don't mention some new shit.
No, this is Jor-El. So like, remember how you said like there was like well, we're gonna get on this. I probably after this one, right? But how like they portrayed Jor-El in this one, the family was like kind of like in the beginning of in the beginning of Smallville, they kind of very much presented Jor-El kind of like that, and the presence that he had. There was a point where like I think like Clark was not listening to him, so like he tricked Clark to go to the cave. He got abducted, and then he got basically converted to like the perfect Kryptonian, which was like more of a heartless Clark that could fly, do all of what Superman could do, just didn't have the emotions of it. So like when Lois met him, he had no memories of who he was. He was naked in a field, and she basically found him, basically brought him home to Martha. Turns out she was Chloe's cousin. So like
Lois found him?
Yeah, Lois found him. She was Chloe's cousin.
No, see, I don't like this.
Yeah. And then like there was like a whole season.
No,
there was like a whole season.
Don't bring up shit like that. Like, I hate new shit. Anything that's come out within the last 10, 15 years, no, we're not talking about that.
I mean, technically that was before that, so that was like 17 years ago. So that was like 19 years ago, almost 20 years ago.
Doesn't count.
You said 10, 15, man. That's out there.
This doesn't count. Because there's so many iterations out there, but
by that logic, you got to go by like old-fashioned original Superman, where he couldn't fly.
Let's go with the most dominant story, and Lois does not find him.
You're saying most dominant, okay? Because I was gonna say if you're going by original, then you're not even gonna get the Clark you have now. You get like the original 20 Superman, where he was jumping over the building.
That's why I said the most dominant.
Okay, cool.
What most people know.
Well, all right,
don't fuck with that. That's how I roll.
I think it was definitely the series was definitely victim to CWism, where the series was running longer than it should, and they had to plant from new arcs.
Smallville.
Yeah. I think that was like that. There was like I didn't hate it, but that was also because when I watched it, that was my first introduction to Superman. So like the whole that was like, then I watched the animated series, then I got into the comics, and I realized it was very different.
Yeah, I like to think that he met her at work.
Yeah.
That's when he don't. Not even. I don't feel like she was the reason he got corny. I feel like he needed to do that to get everybody off the scent. That he was Superman.
Like she would always act like he was corny because he had a high moral compass, but it was always like corny and like this guy is kind of hot, and I'm just gonna say that because I don't want to admit that he's hot.
Also, I brought this up before, but don't you think that somebody from Smallville High is like, gee? You know who really looks like Superman?
1000%.
Clark.
Because like in the beginning,
guy we went to school with?
Remember how he was at every single like crime scene saving people? He was always there. Nothing ever happened to him. He was completely fine.
Well, another thing that was goofy about that show is that towards the end he just starts zipping around saving people. He's not flying.
Yeah, he was. He didn't. So I didn't love that either. They made the whole flying thing like this big end game power, and like. Flying is a cool power because definitely like it adds to Superman's mystique. Like I think you don't really think about Superman without him flying. And that's why he has the cape. He's the original cape holder, and the flying doesn't work without the cape. I mean, the cape doesn't work without the flying. But I feel like they didn't like give him that power until the very last episode.
Yeah, I mean they did everything with his character. You might as well have him fly.
And it was because he didn't believe he was like a true Kryptonian. Like it was like it was a self-identity thing.
So the whole thing, like with him zipping around town for fucking 7, 8, 9 seasons.
It was like his alter ego, the Blur.
It's like, come on, like how could you? I know you're quick, but at a certain point, people have got to see this.
But he like stole the Flash's motif like hard, and then like they had the Flash in there, and they couldn't keep like I'm pretty sure the reason they couldn't do more with that character was because like he already did it. Like
yeah, pretty much.
It was just that he was definitively faster than the Clark though.
For some reason in that show they had Clark only wearing 2 outfits the whole show. Netflix. Was it? He had the flannel. You know.
He had like for like the first 5 seasons, he had like the red and blue flannel shirt or whatever.
Exactly.
And then like,
remember he had the blue shirt with the red jacket.
When he went to like when he went from like Smallville to like Metropolis, he started just wearing a suit. And
corny. I don't like that.
Not like he just like, and he wasn't even a corny looking dude. He was just a dude and mind you, the guy who played like Clark Kent was a model before him. He was just a model in suit wear. This was not the nerdy Clark. This is what I'm saying. Like, he had to eventually sell the idea that he was a nerd after the fact that niggas had been working with him for years. So, like, you're right. Someone in this universe is definitely going to be like, that nigga that's flying around? I could definitely see Clark putting on the costume.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, he was that guy, and then we didn't see, like, you didn't get, like, I feel like the Smallville version of it, like, would be more what, like, I think some guys would want Superman to be, like, the same way that you're, like, you didn't like that he was, like, oh, gosh, and, like, he was, like, corny. I think, like, as much as you complain about that, but, like, that seems like the Superman that you'd want.
No, tonally, it was not... That is how Superman started, but like in the moments,
you feel like the Clark Kent point of it.
The movie didn't know if it wanted to lean all the way into that, or if it wanted to lean more into scenes where, they're sitting down and that alien is attacking in the background. It just seemed like off a little bit in moments.
And I think scenes like that are definitely used to just kind of like I think it's not just humor, but it's also Easter eggs. So it's like there's a fan of that villain that people are seeing, and they kind of want to just kind of throw it in there. Yeah. As like and it also expands the world, because it's like, okay, so they deal with threats like these on a day-to-day basis. Clark sometimes has a day off, like, you know what I'm saying, like, it kind of, because there's a whole other superhero team out there, and like because we always complain. What do fans complain about? Like, whenever you're watching like a Spider-Man movie or something, and the villain pops up, and you're like, in that New York, in Iron Man, in this person, in that person, in the same city, why didn't they come and help them? They did that. They kind of. Like, so, but I feel like I get what you're saying, that it was done at a weird point, because there was a real serious conversation happening in the background.
So